squeaky.
Squeaky.
And a little,
Yeah, don't move.
Somebody's got a break.
lifted a little bit to the right.
Oh, and squeaky.
Sure.
Jeez.
Did Jane call back in?
She is,
Okay.
humidity.
All right, we will call this meeting to order at 7:59. Everyone's had a chance to take a look at the minutes from the June 8th meeting. I'll need a motion to approve those.
I was not meeting.
Motion by Dan,
I'll second.
second by Eric. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, treasurer's report.
Yeah, stuck with me on that. Will be pretty quick. I'll start with the balance sheet. You can see what both the checking and savings account balances are. I'll show you the transfer in a few minutes that we had made. There is, which we don't regularly have, an accounts payable. You'll see in a second. That's really the quarterly payments to attorney and CFO. So you see a fund balance of $1.4 million, and if you will, a year-to-date gain of $47,220. So I'm using more on that. On the income statement, beyond the interest payment, you do see where we finally logged the $500 field rental. That has been mowed once so far this season already. The expenses were relatively straightforward. You're familiar with the management fee. You can see here where both the payment to the CFO and attorneys are listed there. And then the only other thing, just on the advertising promotion, it was some website work as well as that poster that I had made last month. Under statement of cash transactions, I would show you that we did transfer, which we seldom do, but $103,850 from checking into savings, just given the dollar balance, and we try and keep that checking account balance as close to $100,000 as possible. And I think you're all familiar with the disbursements from the previous month. The North Shore Solutions was both some mobile app fixes of our site that I really didn't realize until we switched over to North Shore, and then they obviously had some expenses to assume hosting from Essential Design. So, and the Western New York Commercial Realtors is their summer meeting, which I'll be attending later on. That's it for the treasurer's report, unless there's questions. Or financial statements, I should say.
Okay, I'll take a motion to accept the financial statement as presented by Tom.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Darlene. Second. Second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And then for invoices and bills, you have those in front of you as well. For July, there's the normal town of Lockport and some incidental credit card expenses. Some of it was some water and coffee and stuff for board meetings. Next is May mileage, as well as the little $15 phone tripod I got for recording the last meeting and subsequent meetings if we're off-site. Toshiba's actually 2 months. Kind of the final portion of the North Shore was transfer, and then they began the domain registration and so on for us. And then, as you saw earlier, their actual checks to Seaman Norris as well as Kate Carter. So it's a total of 6, and total dollar amount of $13,087.45.
I'll move that we pay the bills.
Okay, motion by Eric,
I'll second it.
second by Darlene. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. And administrative director's report.
I'll be quick. Everybody's familiar that the former BCKH, former Schwann's building has been purchased by Team Assist. I did go out and meet Greg there, tour the building, not that I hadn't seen it before, but just to see how he's begun to initially use it, and just had some discussions with him about his future plans out there. On Bison Bag Construction, I sent you all this week some updated pictures. The warehouse has got all the skin on it, and I would say 70-80% of the roof. I said it on the email, I'll just say it again, you get inside there and you just can't fathom that isn't enough space for them, just how massive it is, but that project's still very active. On the town side, I am in the process this month of filing 2 grants through the CFA. One's a engineering planning grant, and the other is a culvert mapping grant, obviously both for the town and both in conjunction with Wendell. I mentioned the Buffalo Transformer Services real quick. If you remember, he had some discussions with us. He actually had an interest in the Central Transport Building, like, half of anybody we've talked to. But he ended up setting up, at least for now, in the Merritt machinery over on Ohio Street in the city. But given our relationship with him, I did recommend him to invest Buffalo Niagara for the economic gardening program, and he was accepted, and he's been actively involved. So I think he's excited about that and appreciated the opportunity. Just so you can see, the Niagara County Economic Development Alliance had a presentation on electric vehicles, of all things. In this case, it was National Grid that has a make-ready program that pays for all the infrastructure, not the actual charging stations itself. But just like kind of the climate action plan, it's amazing how much money both National Grid and NYSEG were required to put into this electronic vehicle program, and how many charging stations sort of they're on the hook for as a result of those dollars. So at times I'm always just amazed that whatever New York is coordinated as it is. Then just 2 other things in your packet. One is a quick little article on the FAST opportunity. We still don't think that'll be till the fall, but we would apply for that to have some funding to do some build-out work on the GM land. And then, probably more importantly, and I'd encourage you to hang on to it and take a look at it, we did recently get the 2021 Office of State Controller IDA report. So you have that full report in there. There is just one section that lists all the IDAs, and obviously we're listed in there. But it gives you just a sort of sense of, in that kind of secondary pandemic year, what was up, what are some of the trends, what are some of the audit findings, and so on. But one of the few useful, positive things that comes out of the Controller's office. You didn't hear me say that, but that's all I got, unless anybody has questions.
Yeah, exactly. Did you want to comment on that pilot analysis tool that you emailed about?
Yeah, just briefly. As we were getting ready for, this resolution, certainly one of the obligations of us is to have kind of an objective cost-benefit analysis done. And it wasn't even that. I actually got online real quick because, you've all saw the information on the proposed pilot for the Amazon distribution center in the town of Niagara that's been presented to Niagara County IDA. And what they were proposing, they claimed wasn't a variance from their normal pilot, which is neither here nor there, but I had gone onto their website to try and see kind of what that traditional pilot is, and it may not be. But anyway, lo and behold, I stumbled across one of their, for a different project, cost-benefit analysis by the MRB group, which I had proposed to you guys. And, I reached out to them and said, look, we like the tool, but, our attorneys had some issues, maybe more so Tom, I think, but with some of the language, did your attorneys have any issues? And they said they didn't. So long story short, I am uncomfortable not having at our disposal a cost-benefit analysis tool, not so much for solar, but unique projects. So I'll circle back to Tom. He's back off vacation. It may make sense for him to chat with the county/IDA attorney. He probably knows them all. But just to say that Niagara County uses that tool, has found it very useful and didn't have any issues. So it's kind of an open item for us, but I made a note to catch Tom when he's back from
Well, just a comment on that. Our recommendation was that there were lots of issues, but that if you found that it was useful enough that you wanted to go forward, that was a business decision.
Okay.
I don't care I don't know what the Niagara County attorney thought, but, we reviewed it carefully and pointed out issues.
Okay, so that's helpful to,
It's a business decision for the,
yeah, and if we had other alternatives, you know, I'd think about it, but that other group, the Camion group, really was more of a consulting, one-off, call us when you have a project, so, okay, no, that's all I got.
Okay, thanks, Tom. And, attorney's report.
okay, we have, down below, under number 6, you have the, actually, it's an inducement resolution. Now, I'd like to take that up now. You each have a copy of that in your packet, as well as you've been emailed that. So, we don't need to read the entire 7-page, 8-page resolution into the record, but it's there. So, if there are any questions on that before you proceed to a motion and a vote, let me know. And then in order to adopt the resolution, what you need is a motion. You know, we discussed this, you know, item to item, so, you need a motion, a second, and a roll call vote.
My only question I had was, obviously, we know that this is sort of linked to the host community agreement, and obviously this resolution appropriately recognizes that. Do we know what the town's plan are? Are they just waiting for this to be done, and then you'll?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a condition upon, arriving at a, acceptable host community condition, or agreement with the town. That's one of the prerequisites
Okay.
towards, this is an inducement resolution, you know, the closing has all of the documents that are important in it, and they have not been started yet.
Any questions before we move forward? Okay. I guess at this time, then, we'll take a motion to approve the inducement resolution for renewable properties, solar project as presented in the paperwork in your packet.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Eric,
I'll second it.
second by Dan,
Do you have a voice vote?
and now we do a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Dan,
What's the proper responses?
Aye.
Aye.
okay,
I thought it was a...
yeah, aye or nay. Darlene,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Janine? Aye. And myself, aye.
Good.
Okay. Motion carries. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, moving on, there's, for Up North Holdings, is being essentially sold to a yet-to-be-determined wholly owned subsidiary of Stendo Technologies, Inc., and they're asking for a consent. It's going to be a membership transfer, so it's really, the company's not changing, but it's going to be different owners. And in order to do, so we already have this. It's a change in ownership, but it's not a change in company. We don't have to go through the whole inducement and all that again. But they are asking for a consent. Did this get emailed?
Did not, no.
Oh,
But that could have come later yesterday, so that's...
okay. So they're asking for a consent, and they've also asked for a certificate from the agency, which they provided their certificate. We went through that item by item and developed our, is it in the packet?
It wasn't, I can get...
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought it was. developed our own, certificate, which indicates that essentially they're, to the best of our knowledge, they're in, compliance with all the requirements of the project. And, that, we're consenting to the transfer. So we need because of the consent portion of it, we need a motion and a second on that, and, vote.
Can I see that
Need
first
roll
one?
call. Pardon?
Can I see that?
Sure. I had thought it, let me just see if I got, here you go.
I'll give it back.
I need it back because
Yeah, I'll
that's
give
a
it
signed
back.
one. I had thought, that had been emailed out to you.
So it's similar to the times when someone's refinancing a property, when we've already reduced it, we have a little bit of paper administrative work to sign off on.
I get it.
It's sort of
Right.
like, it's sort of like that idea.
They're asking for consent, I mean, and that's fine, they've provided us with, and that, they have to comply with all of the conditions of the project, including what the property is used for. If they're gonna change that, that's different. So it's just as though a corporation were, sold to, another corporation, but this is an LLC, okay?
And what should the verbiage be for the
Motion.
Pardon me?
motion? What should the verbiage be for the motion?
We need a motion to, consent to the, substitution of, or the transfer of ownership of the company.
Okay,
So moved.
thank you. Darlene,
I'll second.
second by Eric. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right. And the other, matter is on the Hashem refinance, and I don't know, did this get out, circulated? I thought it, yes, okay, so you've all seen that. And, we need to sign the mortgage because we are, a leaseback owner of the project. So, or a lease owner of the project and a leaseback, so we have to sign it. It has all of the, requisite, protections for the agency, and, so we need a motion on that, second, to approve that.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
And a motion by Eric,
Second.
second by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that completes my
All right,
portion.
thank you, Dan. Any old business to cover? Okay.
Birds or anything.
Exactly. Any birds flying around or landing? Any new business? We already covered, obviously, the resolution. Okay. Anything for executive session, Dan?
I have nothing.
Okay.
No, believe it or not, I don't either.
All right.
It's probably the first time ever.
Yeah, first time ever.
Yeah, that's a quick one. All right, next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 11th. If you can please check your calendars early and let Tom know if you can make it. And I know it gets tougher in the summer months. I guess we'll,
Yeah.
make a motion to end the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Darlene, second by Eric. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Janine.
This one,
Enjoy your trip.
you ready for this?
All right, take care.
Want me to hit that?
Oh, sure.